How you doing, everybody? If you want to modify your screen set on Mach3 just to make it appear different than the usual 1024 screen, you want to add a button, graphic, or something special for your own needs. This is a series of videos that I'm planning to do on how to create those graphics. The program we're going to use is Krita. And Krita is a program similar to Photoshop where you can manipulate images and also you can draw images, your own creations, so you can include them into the screen set of Mach3. For example, you can see here, this is a 1024 set, except that it's got a diode here on the background image that I drew, and this will make it different. It doesn't have to be a diode, it can be anything. It can be a router, a drill, motor, or anything that you can imagine according to your needs. So the purpose of the video is just to start showing you how to create these images on Krita. And Krita, this is the program right here. Is you can see is Krita. I think it's pronounced Krita, although I'm not completely positive of that, but it sounds good. So the way you can get that program is you can download it from the internet. And let me open a website here. Let me get this here, and all you have to do is go to krita.org, and then it takes you to the main page of the Krita website. And if you got Windows, then you get Krita here, and the newest version, I think is version 5.2, something like that. Yeah, Krita 5.2.2. And all you gotta do is just download it and install it on your system. Just follow the prompts. Another thing that I was mentioning yesterday is that the need for a pen pad to be able to create drawings with more ease than using the mouse. You get a combination of your pen pad with your keyboard using some Krita included shortcuts, so it'll make it easier handling your graphics or your drawings. So that's something that you have to learn as you go, because when I started to use this program, I use it for creating the thumbnails for YouTube, and I didn't know anything about it. I had a hard time at the beginning, so I started watching some Krita videos, how to use the program, and then you kind of get used to it. You can get used to using the pad and using the keyboard, and then I like drawing, so besides doing the graphics for Mach3, also I do my own drawings for some personal use. So this is what I'm gonna talk about in this video today. So let's get started. So providing that you have Krita already installed and configured, actually just installed, because you have to customize it to your own needs, but you do that as you go. You don't have to do it at the beginning. So when you open the program, you're gonna see a screen like this. It's got a button right here for the new file or an open file if you already saved a file as a Krita file. But if you haven't, you just click on that. It's asking you for the width and the height of your drawing. This is the standard that I use all the time, but you come here, you can see that it's got several sizes: letter, Lego, A3, A6, whatever size you want. But you can open just a regular 1920 by 1080, 150 dots per inch, and just create the file or create your first layer. Now I have my program configured, so when I open it, it open only one layer. I think if you have the program just installed, it opens a couple of layers and it won't be black, it will be transparent. So it'll have a background of white color. Like here, let me just make it white so it'll look like you have it. You might have a different background here because I modified the background, the area around the background to be gray, but it might look slightly different on your program or when you just install it. But anyway, what I'm trying to get you to know, when you just open and you don't know what to do, I had to explain to you what not only the pen pad, how it works, and the keyboard shortcuts, but also how layers work. All right, since we kind of used to like drawing on paper, you know, the paper is opaque, it's white but it's opaque. So in a program like Photoshop or Krita or other programs, you draw the stuff on layers, and the layers are transparent. Right now the background is white, right? But if I add another layer right there, I add it to it at the same time. Let me just erase one. Okay, you can see here that it's got paint layer 1. The opacity is 100%, but you don't see nothing here. You just see the white background because this layer is transparent. It's kind of like you have a piece of glass right here. That layer is a piece of glass and you can see through. If I take off the background and hide it, you're gonna see a checkerboard background, and that's to indicate there's nothing there. There's no background at all. Anyway, if I move it, you can see that the squares, you can move around the squares. It's kind of funny how it looks, but there's no background at all there. But you can still draw on top of no background on this layer. This layer is transparent, but it's like pouring paint on top of the glass. So you're gonna start to make any shape or any freehand drawing here on that layer. Well, first of all, this area right here is where your tools are. You can move the areas around for your preference, but I prefer to have them here, and I used to have them in 2 rows like this, but you can have it in 1 single row like that or more. See, you can just resize your window. This is the tools that you use, and here is the properties of those tools right here. This is to save your file, this is to open the file, this is to create a new file, and of course your buttons to do or redo. If you can see here, I've got the brushes are on this window here, and then if I press on it, I got my own kind of like selected brushes, different kinds of brushes, right? Like here's paint, and it only selects whatever is that paint. So the ones I use the most, I put them in my own tag right here, and then I can get access to them real quick, so I don't have to be looking for them. Okay, let's say that I'm gonna select this brush. Now I got selected the fill tool, right? It's like a little bucket, and you fill it with whatever color you selected here, and this is your color selection. It might look slightly different on yours. It might look something like this, but you can select it like that, or you can change any color that you want here on this palette. I'm gonna choose like a blue color, and I'm gonna change to brush right here. See, I'm selecting this kind of brush, but right now I got the brush selected. So the size of that brush I can change if I press the shift key and I drag my pen. Then I can make it bigger, or I can come here and drag this slider and make it smaller or bigger, and you can resize it right here to original. All right, so I got this layer, and pretend that this is a piece of glass. Actually, it's a piece of glass because the monitor is glass, right? But I'm not painting on the monitor, I'm painting on some virtual glass right here. So I'm gonna paint this blue line right here. All right. Okay, so what is a layer? Okay, I'm gonna add another layer right here, and that's gonna be on top of that one, right? So now I'm gonna select the red color and I'm gonna draw another line, and you can see it draws on top of that. So the glass of the blue line is underneath the glass of this red line, right? So let me create another layer, and I'm gonna put a yellow. There you go, and that's on top of the layer of the red layer. And I can manipulate these layers. I can make them like go under. See, now that the red one is there, and I can go to the very bottom, see, and the red one on top. So if this is the red one, I can rename this layer, double click on it, and I put red, right? So you can see it. This one, if I hide it, this is the blue one, blue. And finally, the yellow one is the one under. Yellow. All right, so now you can see how these layers can be moved with these arrows right here, up or down, and you can see that it goes on top. You change the glass from top to bottom to top. Now if I make my background visible again, you can see that now is on that background, which is white. You know, you can see that like it's painted on a piece of paper, but actually there's 3 different pieces of glass that are laying one on top of the other. All right, so let me change this background color with the fill tool here to black, and you'll see the difference. Okay, so now we're looking at something on a black background, and it looks more interesting, right? Now you can move these different layers with, if we select the W here on the keyboard, it makes it selected, right? But I had to be on the program to do that. So you can see I selected that layer, and I can move it around. See, I can rotate or I can move. Same with this one. Yeah, I can move it. Or this one, you have to like click on it and select it, and then you can move it around, right? If you want to like make them move all at the same time, you have to like group them. So you kind of select them like that, and then you press Ctrl G, and that makes a group. Now when the group is selected, then I can move all the layers at the same time. See? And now if I have a group, then to be able to manipulate each one of them, I had to click on each one of them, and then I can move it independently. See? All right. Now to ungroup, I use the mouse for that. So I right click and come to this menu here, and then where it says group, you can quick ungroup, and then it reverts to how I had it at the beginning. All right, so this is how you manipulate layers on the program that look like a piece of glass with something painted on it. All right, this is just some lines, but we're gonna, let me erase this, and this. What I'm doing is just clicking delete when I select it. So let me go ahead and get rid of the layers, and I'm gonna leave that one. I'm gonna change it to square. All right, so that layer is gonna be called a square. Now if I come here to this tool, it's a square, right? And I can, with the same brush and with white, maybe any color, I can get a square drawn on the screen. Let me select the W so I can move it to the side. There you go. And I'm gonna draw a circle now. If I draw a circle, then it might be an ellipse, a circle, but if you press shift, then it becomes a circle. Now you press Shift and Alt, then you can move it around, and then you can put it or position it anywhere you want. There you go. If you draw a square again, it's the same thing. You know, it's a rectangle there, but if I press Shift, then it makes it a square. And now to move it, now I resize it with dragging my pen pad, but if I press Alt, then I can move it, and that's a square, right? Since I got everything on a single layer, right? If I press W here, it moves everything at the same time. And let's say that I just want to move the little square, then I come here to the tools and get this selection or select tool. It looks like a dotted square. Now, when I select the square, now I can move the square independently of each other, right? If I put it on top of the white one and I say, oh man, it's gonna be gone because it's in a single layer, right? All right, let's say that, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a different color. I'm gonna make it like, what's that, like purple pinkish color, and I'm gonna make it like, there you go. See, I put the back bucket and fill the paint of just the square there. Now let me move it. Then you put it on top of this. There you go. You press enter, then it kind of sets it inside the other circle there, but you still got the selection tool there. Okay, so I got the square selected there. And to deselect, you press Ctrl D, and then it just deselect the thing. Alright, that's how you create the shapes. This line right here is just a single line. From here to here, you drag, or if I come and use this other tool, it kind of goes like around wherever you click on it, then you can fill it. Now, how you fill the whole shape is you come here to the tool properties, and as you can see, this one is a tool property, and it says a fill with the foreground color, with the background color, or with a pattern. So right, or not fill. If we select not fill, then if we do it again, then it's just gonna do the lines. See? By the way, the foreground color is these colors right here. That's the foreground. All right, and the other one right here is the background. See, there's two colors. All right, so now if I want to make the selection with the select tool, I'm gonna use this magic wand, and I'm just gonna click on it, and it selects whatever is white, right? All right, so now that I got this part right here selected, then I come here to this, and this is a gradient, and we can draw a gradient, and there's a tool right here that goes from foreground to background. This is foreground to transparent. If we select this one, it's gonna select whatever I have on this color on the background to the foreground, and if I just drag along, it's gonna draw a gradient. See, or there, all the way, or sideways, or diagonals. See, that's just drawing a gradient using these two colors. If I change the background color and I make it like blue there, then it's gonna be different. See, that's bluish. There you go. And it's just doing whatever is selected on the square there, whatever these little marching ants are going to, the square that is going to do. Now, if I get the magic wand and select this part right here, it selected whatever is a border of this shape, and I can still do the same thing using this, and now it did the gradient on that part of that circle. And I press Ctrl D, and this selects and gets that thing. If forget that it's Ctrl D, you can come here to select, and here's a command to deselect, and this one is to reselect. Select, deselect, Ctrl D. All right, so let me erase that. Let's start drawing like some sort of dial. I'm gonna name the layer dial, right? And I'm gonna use the background. I'm just gonna make it white, so we can draw on top of white. There you go. Usually the dial is gonna be like black. Now I had to make sure and I select the layer I'm gonna be working on. So I'm gonna be working on this transparent layer with white background, and I can make it disappear, but just for more visible, let's put the white on. Let's say that it's gonna be black, right? Okay, I can draw a square there. All right, but how do I know where the center line of that thing is if I try to draw some other shape to it? So the easiest way to do that would be like select the mirror tool. It kind of goes in the middle of the screen. And now if I draw the same square, it's gonna make it like even with the other side. So now this is like a body of a dial there. So, you know, the dials have the, there you go. See how the dial has got this knob right here, the lens that you can adjust the focus on it. So it's kind of like a nut. Now this brush is kind of thick. I'm gonna select something very thin like this one. Can you tell that the brush is 46 pixels wide right here, right? If I select this one, it's only 5 pixels wide. So I'm gonna draw like the body of the lens right there. And I don't have to worry about, oh, is it gonna be in the center or not, because I got the mirror line selected there. So now I'm gonna draw another one right there. There you go. Now it gives you the shape of kind of the lens. And you go back to this, Mach3 here. And it's got kind of that shape. Now it's got some reaches there, and this one is like a 45-degree angle there. We can do that, or we can just keep it simple and make it square. The same thing with the mirror line here. It kind of makes it easier. If you draw something on one side, it'll be the same as the other side. So if I draw that line there, and I'm still using the square, right? The drawing square. Now if I don't want to go like over and undersize and oversize those lines, what I can do is I can get the selection tool, and I'm gonna draw those lines only here on this area of the black body there. All right, so now if I go over that, it's not gonna draw anything beyond those selection lines. So let me start again here. See how I went over it and it still did only, it didn't go over that. So let's draw another one. See, I'm drawing like a few of them to resemble the aluminum extrusion with the cooling fins there, right? All right, so what else does he have? Let's see. So this one has got like some wires, and it's got some, I don't know, a fan on top. All right, let me Control D and deselect that. I'm going to make that top part like a fan. So I'm gonna select the selection there, and then I can delete, and it deleted that part. However, it didn't delete the other part, right? So let me deselect and go back. But if I come here with the square and select instead of the pencil, I'm gonna select the eraser and see what happens. Now it took out both of the sides. And let me just get like a couple of bolts right here that go through, and it draws them one in each side. Let me go ahead and make this black, so it'll be like a fan. And I'm gonna make something here that is like the little bolt cap. So let me select that round tool or brush and see how it kind of like make a couple of screws there. And then I can come here again and select the eraser. And then I can come here and make a slot. If I press Alt, then I can move the tool to wherever I want it. There you go. See, and then if I come here to the keyboard on the number pad, press the plus or the minus, it's gonna increase or decrease the size of my picture here. See, this plus. Then if I press the space bar and drag the mouse or the pen, I can move the drawing around, right, like that. So in position, then I can like decrease the size or increase the size if you want a little more detail. Now I got the eraser again. Let me go ahead and select the pen again. And I'm gonna put something like a little square here, you know, just to make a little more detail on it. All right, let's say that I got some sort of controls, the control board right here on this part of the dial. All right, let me get like PCB green, and I'm gonna just set it right here on top. All right, that's kind of like the PCB of the dial. We can draw, if we can get carried away, then we can draw maybe choosing this color. Maybe we can draw some sort of capacitor and move it around and place it there. And put something in the middle there so it'll look like a capacitor. There you go. Actually, the capacitors, I think they're like blue, right? So let me fill that part right there blue. There you go. Stripe right here for the negative. And then I can draw a switch probably here. That's the switch, the button for it. There. And then black again. A switch selector for PWM and full power. Whatever, right? So we can fill the whole thing with electronic components here. Let me draw some black thing here on the sides. And if we want to draw a wire, let's see that there's got a wire for the fan. Then we can select this brush. Let me say that the fan has got the black wire, and we're gonna draw it by hand and set it there. And then it's got a red wire, and we're gonna get it from there on top to there. That's the positive wire. Also, we can go like around the little screw there. Red one and black. All right, so I'm drawing with the pad there. See what else? What else? All right, let's see. I'm gonna put little lines right here for the focus. Make a selection there, and I'm gonna select also the mirror again, and we're gonna just put some lines there. And let me select this tiny one again, and I'm going to go with something not too dark, like gray, similar to the knurling on that focusing lens. Now, I'm not doing this very precise. You can spend more time and make it look more realistic. So let me deselect. If I want to make it chamfer there, and we can like do a little chamfer there. There you go. All right. Now, if I press 3, it's gonna center the whole thing. Let me go ahead and put something else. Maybe let's do a resistor. All right, so let me get the mirror, but I don't want the mirror there in the center. You can move it around. I'm gonna move it around here. And now let's go back to that resistor. And let me go back and draw the little wires. And now I don't want to paint over to draw the lines on top of the resistor. So I don't want to paint over it. So I'm gonna get the magic wand here and select just that part. And I'm gonna do the same thing just with this square drawing tool. And I'm gonna say that this is brown, orange, and yellow, and then like silver. There you go. And that's your resistor. If you were to create another layer there and select on top of that resistor, come here with the mouse and right click. See, I right click. I'm gonna copy the selection to a new layer. There you go. Okay, so now I copy that selection, and now I do have the dial in another layer. But I say, where is it? I can't see it. It's because it's on top of the same resistor that I just copied to another layer, right? So if I come here and press W, or come here to the move around tool, then if I press shift, I can drag it to the side in the same plane. Now that I got two resistors of the same, then I can come here to the layer and press Control E. It will mix or join both of those layers in one. There you go. That's a single layer now. See? All right. So before you go too far, you have to make sure you save your file before something happens and then the computer crashes or something, and then you lost all that work. Let's put a like a beam of light on the dial just to make it more interesting. All right, so there, and there. It needs to be more like, let's see, there's another color here. There you go, that's more like it. Now, if I come here and you see this little shaker board square with the lock on it, that what it does, it locks the transparency. Whatever you're drawing to the end of the transparency, right? So this is the transparent part. You won't draw nothing beyond the painted part. So if I come here and do this, it won't draw beyond that because that's the transparent. So if I come here, do this, now I'm painting it with just the brush and the tablet. I'm going like this, right? Let's see. So let's see, okay. See how easy it is to like do this. Once you get used to the tablet, and just put a beam right there in the center. All right, so let me go ahead and go back to full window here. There you go, and number 3. There's your dial. Whenever you're going to export this file, I don't want the whole screen around, then you can come here to image and then trim to current layer. But if I trim it to current layer, then it will export whatever is on this transparent background, a PNG file. That's the one you want. So if I come here to file and export, then you can export to desktop dial as a PNG file, and you can select here what kind of file you want. JPEG, PNG, PGM, whatever, right? And just save it there, say okay. And now we come here to the desktop and you can see here the image. I double click on it and that's our image. It's ready to be put into Mach3. Now let's do that. Let me close it. I come to my local disk C, and then I come here to Mach3, and then I come here to bitmaps, and then I come here to mill bitmaps, right? That's where you drag and drop your image that you created. Now the image is going to be there in the Mach3 folder. Now to be able to modify the Mach3 screen, you're going to need the Mach3 screen editor, and then you can change the screens and create the screen set. Alright, I don't have an editor on my Windows 10 here, but I'm gonna open Windows XP. I'm gonna drop it into share folder XP. Now I can have it on my XP folder here. That's it. Okay, so I got the laser diode right here. This image right here, what I need to do now before I load it here, I need to create another background image. So let me do that. And we're gonna create it on Krita here. I'm creating a background image right here using whatever either you created or you picked from the files that got this background images already there on Mach3 folder. And now let me import another layer. Come here to the dial creation, and I'm gonna copy this layer with the right click, copy layer. This is getting too complicated now. And then I'm gonna paste the layer. You can see that I pasted the layer. Now I'm gonna resize it so it'll fit this screen there. We're just gonna set it there, okay? We're going to get rid of the background there, and we're going to integrate those two layers. Control E. Now they're fused together. And now I'm gonna trim it. Image, trim to current layer. Now we have a working background. We're gonna export it. We're gonna export it to directly to share folder XP, and we're gonna call it background with laser. Back with laser. Okay, there you go. Now we can go back to Windows XP, and we already have the Mach3 editor open. Oh, but before we do that, all right, so back with laser, there it is. I had to drop this file into Mach3 bitmaps, mil bitmaps, drag it, and I'm gonna put it in mil bitmaps, and there it is. Now let me close this. Now when I come here, it should be there. You can see that we got the dial right here. If I save it, now we can open Mach3 loader. Here you go, Mach3 mil. I'm just gonna open it. Okay, that's the one original we have. So now we're gonna change it to the one we just created. Those screens. I don't know if it's that one or this one. Let's try it. That one. That's it. Now you can see that you got your Mach3 background screen created and put it on the background image itself, and now is ready to be implemented. Now it's working, right? That's basically what I was trying to show you how to do with this series of videos, and this was kind of complicated. It's not easy. I mean, it takes a lot of doing and learning, especially if you're creating files on Krita program. I had to learn the program first, but once you learn the basic, then it'll be a lot easier any drawing that you want to include onto Mach3. There's a way to make LEDs light and switches to flip, but that'll come in another video in this series of videos showing you how to make controls for your Mach3 program and to make it look maybe modern. Alright, so I hope this video will help you start creating your own graphics, and I know it's kind of like a steep learning curve, but if you stick to it for a little bit, then you can do all kinds of stuff. In some coming videos, I'm gonna show you how to draw maybe a button or a knob or maybe other graphic. Hopefully it'll be valuable to you, and if it is, please give me a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in our next video. Okay, bye bye.